first time we've done a trip like this. My sister Katie, Randy, her brother Warren Clayton. We all went to England, Wales, Scotland, and did a 2-week road trip there. I made what I called I Spy cards. I picked native animals. I did not anticipate the problem that would break out when 2 people thought they saw the red stag first. Katie and Warren Clayton still fight about that to this day. I decided to continue the I Spy card tradition. For this trip, the mystery item that I asked for their packing list was formal wear. Floor length formal gowns for the ladies, and then like a dark suit for men. For me, when I'm getting ready for a trip, I don't necessarily care what I pack so much as how I pack. I'm a real big fan of packing cubes. I roll everything up, put them in the packing cubes, shove them into the suitcase. I like everything to be organized. I try to pack minimally. I only do carry-on. Just don't like having big, heavy luggage. A lot of times I fly solo, so it's really hard to like be juggling luggage if you need to use the restroom in an airport, or if you have time to kill and you're kind of like trying to browse through a store. A backpack's easier just because it's like on you and good to go, but then it's also harder if you pack a lot because it's just sticking out like a big old hiking backpack, so you go to turn, you take out half a rack of clothes. Like for me, it's about trying to keep everything minimally, make sure you have like enough underlayers for the whole days, but then your outer layers are able to mix and match a good color scheme. Those are the kind of things that I look for when I'm packing. Of course, normally I just wear jeans, my belt, a shirt, a jacket at home, but then when I'm traveling, like here I am trying to shove a ball gown into my suitcase for a 2-week trip to Europe. Like this time I actually will need it, but the joke's usually like, oh, I might need a ball gown, but like we actually do need a ball gown. It is what it is.
All my work, I'm still working. It's 3:45, I work in marketing, so I have a laptop charger, 2 phone packs, hard drives, fire them suckers up, my phone, and chargers for that, and my watch, and my journal for work.
Essential packing items, my phone, and probably, yeah, charging stuff, which I ironically forgot, so we're gonna go buy that after this video.
Getting ready for this trip, I did a lot of things. Basically, I planned the whole trip. All the research, all the planning, finding cool activities to do, trying to keep things on a budget, tracking the budget because, let's be honest, that can get out of control really, really quickly. I've got all the travel confirmations. I even made a build your own adventure book for this trip. You know they're probably not even gonna read it. Wouldn't be a trip without all the spreadsheets. Tracking expenses, planning the itinerary, doing a financial breakdown, packing lists and checklists and all the things that go with it. I live and I die by the spreadsheets. There's that.
I saved money. Not a dang thing.
Tracked airfare, I booked flights, I investigated for activities that might be fun.
How do you say that you didn't do anything? I prepared for this trip by getting in my sister's pickup and riding over.
You didn't even do that.
No, I rode my fiance brought me over.
She brought you.
Yes.
She said get on that plane.
I booked everything, I coordinated the schedule.
I didn't do jack squat to prepare for this.
I mapped out the dates, I contacted everybody and coordinated for who was going to be going.
I paid my bills. I lined up my executive assistant with everything that she needed. I organized my homesteading adventures, and that's like the big 3 that I did in order to be able to be ready to go on this trip. Am I ready? No. I'm about to panic? Yes. That's probably why Warren Clayton said I'm gonna lose my temper first.
Worked on learning German, I worked on learning French, I did more research.
To get ready for this trip, I went on several other trips, so I saved no money. Ran a marathon this spring and then quit running.
I built the Build Your Own Adventure book. I built I Spy cards. I built challenge cards.
I stayed up till 3 a.m. the 3 nights before we went on this trip. I am running on 0 sleep.
I planned out the whole trip. Did I mention that I planned out the whole trip?
Hi, I'm Marcia. Thank you for having me on this trip. Kind of blackmailed my employer to give me more money. Just kidding. I asked for a raise and wildly got it, so that helped financially.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Tried to ride my horse every other day.
Not that much. Not that much. Well, I would tell you what my predictions are on what's going to be happening on this trip, but I know too much, so I'd tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. Just kidding, just kidding. I won't actually kill you, but I can't tell you because that's gonna spoil the surprise. And if you wanna follow along with the group and be just as surprised as them, I don't wanna take that away from you. Who am I to take that away from you? What can I spoil? I think, hopefully, Warren Clayton is gonna be very excited that I have designated him the driver for the trip. When we went to UK, he was too young to drive a rental car. So I did all the driving, but now that we're in Europe and he's older, I'm tapping him in. Of course, there's a lot of book lovers on this trip. There's some really cool libraries. I think they're gonna like those. You know, it's funny. I originally, when I was planning this trip, it seemed to be kind of book themed. Instead of an Amazing Race style, and I made it a build your own adventure book. There's so many sites to see. We're trying to fit as much as we can into 2 weeks. I don't want anyone to feel like they missed anything that they want to see, but we are also functioning as a group. I feel like there will be a little bit of give and take, and hopefully it works out well. I was a little bit nervous about the book format because everything's becoming book themed. I love reading. My sister reads. Warren Clayton reads. Randy is an avid reader. Literally, that's what she does. She reads books and she knows things. The 2 new people I wasn't really sure about. The one thing that brought us all together is horses. The academic side of things, I'm hoping I'm not wrong. Honestly, one of the most validating things was when we were getting ready for this trip. A couple people booked their own flights. They kind of know where we're gonna go for our first stop. And they kept sending me these reels about this really fancy library at the location we're gonna be in. Like, yes. Man, if they're excited about this, I already have it on the list. It's book themed, like, let's go. Let's go. It's gonna be great. We're all avid equestrians. Every trip I plan, because it started when I was Miss Rodeo Oregon back in the day. In all of my travels there, I rode a horse in pretty much every state I've ever been to. When I started traveling internationally, I figured I might as well keep up the trend. That's pretty much a guarantee. If you come on vacation with me, there's going to be at least one horseback riding activity. It's kind of a focus on horses and history of Europe. There's going to be actually several opportunities to do horse-related activities, and a few I think are going to be expected. I did, of course, release a teaser video when we were kind of deciding where at in Europe we were going to go. And I'm afraid that whenever you show a clip of a white horse doing airs above the ground, and kind of as a little bit of a giveaway that we're going to be seeing some lippas on our horses. So I think that's going to be expected. We have, of course, our trademark horseback riding activity and then a few other horse activities that I think are going to be great. Of course, we're going to traverse our way across Europe. A little bit of a spoiler alert. Most of the group probably suspects that we are landing in Vienna, Austria, and we are coming home from Paris, France. I'll leave you to try and fill in the gaps until the next episode drops.
My predictions for what's going to happen on this trip is, to be honest, until yesterday I thought we were going to Spain. So I don't know nothing. We were landing in Vienna. I have to Google where that is. My one expectation for the trip is I brought a suit.
You're actually getting married too soon.
Oh, all right. Sounds like we're having a ball.
So I ran the data from the last trip, and so we had 2 different statuses that we did, which was literary excursions and then testing your insurance, like your health insurance. So it's going to be some sort of combination of the 2 of them. It's going to be cold and wet. Assuming that we're like riding horses because it's kind of Nicole's MO. With that being said, I don't want to go outside and ride horses because it's going to be cold. So I don't know what we're doing in an arena. Maybe we're going to do a fake fox hunt. That could be a thing. She also talks a lot about some food in France, so maybe that'll be a thing that we'll do if we're in France. But I too thought we were going to Spain, and I filled out my passport wrong.
Considering we booked our last flight out of Paris, I'm hoping we get to see the Eiffel Tower. If it's not on the itinerary, I'm going to Shakespeare and Company, the bookstore that's been on my bucket list for years. Most of us are completely on board with this. I'm pretty sure we're going to a ball in Vienna. Snooping, the only thing I could find on like the whole itinerary based on the, the spoiler-free spoilers from the beginning of this spring when we all voted on our trip, the only thing I can find that matched up with that itinerary that required a dress code was a ball. My lips are sealed. I'm voting for we're going on a ball, and we're gonna ride horses at some point. That's a given.
Definitely gonna ride horses, which will be great. Definitely want to see some cool touristy things, make a lot of fun memories. I'm gonna remember them all because we're gonna record everything.
Ultimately, all I'm hoping to get out of this trip is to share my love of travel, of learning new things, and of immersing myself in new cultures, kind of with my friends that are going with me, my friends and family back home, and anyone else who might be interested in traveling. It's pretty generic, but that is literally my only hope. Obviously, I have smaller hopes throughout the trip. No spoilers. I just want to have a good time, enjoy a group of friends, and go on a grand adventure. A nice change up, a good break from work. I have very simple requests here.
Christmas. Like, not the date, but like that they are celebrating Christmas already, because I'm not a big Halloween person, so.
You're not very familiar with the timeline.
How long are we going for?
I did a lot for this. You can call my boss.
Same.
Emergency plan our wedding. I'm not coming back for a while. Our last mystery trip, I had fun playing polo and gill scrambling and just generally traveling around. I don't know what I should expect to top it. I generally have fun, so I'm looking forward to the trip in general.
I feel like I'll just say a few things. You can take them for what they will. The first is I like running down hills. That goes back to the whole testing the health insurance thing. Red stags. Honestly, we're gonna have a fight between Warren and I this entire time.
He's losing her temper first. He's losing her temper first.
I liked the health insurance challenges on our last trip. I do like running down hills, and I do like playing I Spy very aggressively in the car. I'm like very competitive, like very.
I'm not competitive, I'm just observant.
I'm not competitive, I just win, so it's fine.
I don't know if it could be topped. My pick of the litter for memories from the last trip was going to the Globe and seeing one of Shakespeare's plays in Shakespeare's theater. I don't know if we can top that, but I am very willing to try. Stonehenge, surprisingly, has been one of the things that has really stuck with me. Hiking the Old Manor store kind of on a whim. Just some of those things that I didn't think would be the really memorable things that turned out to be. And then shooting archery in Sherwood Forest, and I was the first one to get a bullseye. That as well. And then promptly losing my wallet as we were leaving Sherwood Forest and having to go back for it, because we'll top that by not losing the wallet this time.
Well, I'm not so nervous now that I didn't get catfished, so that was cool. I haven't physically met any of you guys. Yeah, it's just all up from here now. It's gonna be great.